culture. Nakikita po ba yung nasa screen? Thank you. Okay. Ayan. So yung topic natin, no, is about capitalism. So let me just read this first. This topic seeks to conduct a critical analysis of the relationship between capitalism and popular culture. Okay. Popular culture within the context of decolonized Philippine society, emphasizing the influence of capital as a social relation in sustaining exploitation under neo-colonialism. It also discusses how the production of the popular culture, such as media and entertainment, participates in the capitalist practices and promotes consumerism and neo-colonial ideology, while also explaining the concept of commodity fetishism and the role of bureaucrat capitalism in maintaining exploitation and semi-colonial relations. Through this, the document this presentation provides a critical examination of the economic and social dynamics that shape the drive the contemporary Philippine society. So in this lecture, basically, pag-uusapan natin dito yung capitalism, tulad nga nung nasa title, capitalism, commodity, no? And hopefully, magkaroon tayo dito ng kalinawan, no? Kalinawan with regards um, to how this society is being fed by the capitalists. I believe in our early discussions, marami tayong mga nabanggit na uh, na klase ng popular culture that we consume every day, no? And also mga examples nung tinutukoy natin when we talk about popular culture and or kung ano man yung mga parte ng kultura natin, no? So ang learning objective natin or yung objective natin for um, this morning, no, is to analyze and explain. So hindi ko na babasahin to. Pero this are our objectives ngayon. So again, capitalism, yung deep sense ng appreciation and critical understanding of issues with regards to everything that is connected with the capitalist society and also yung mga capital, commodities, and syempre yung pop culture. No? So may mga iba-iba tayong mga maaring gawin through this, but because we were done uh, uh, with an activity na kayo ay may ginawang certain hindi ko pa na-check yung mga sinabit ninyo, no? Podcast or role play or a vlog. Per the activity later, written paper naman tayo since hindi na tayo magkakaroon, sadly, no? Hindi na tayo magkakaroon ng on-site classes. Pero sana no mapagbigyan tayo kahit para sa major exams lang. Kasi may memo kami na kailangan yung mga examinations ay kailangan ay on-site namin gagawin. So hindi ko alam kung paano gagawin natin. Tignan natin kung makakagawa tayo ng paraan na makapagkita pa rin on-site kahit paano. Just for the major exams. We'll see. Anyways. So again, these are our learning objectives. I can already feel na sobrang sabaw ko. So I hope meron tayong justice na makuha from our discussion. No? Anyway, so popular culture in the Philippines reflects its colonial origins, systems of power preserve a social order that benefits colonizers and local elites, and capitalism spread through specific sectors but did not dominate the entire economy. So Dito sa first part natin, well, uh, we kind of tackled, somehow what we mean by the popular culture. So, okay. So we kind of tackled already, what we mean by popular culture. So, um, sa Philippine popular culture, obviously, kaya nga natin sinasabi na Philippine popular culture, no? Ito ay nakabound doon sa colonial nature ng natin. Kasi nga, di ba, ilang beses rin naman natin na-mention na maraming nanakop sa atin, whatnot. No? So, uh, as an effect or as the direct effect of that, nagkaroon tayo nung colonial character na nakadepende doon sa system that preserves the social order, benefiting both yung colonizers and yung local ruling class na nagpa-facilitate nung flows of activity serving colonial interests. And one of these systems, kaya din mention ko sa inyo yung mga um, or tinanong ko rin sa inyo, I believe I also asked this na hindi man tayo directly na-colonize sa mga, or hindi man nagkaroon ng gera in order for the Chinese to colonize us, pero they were able to colonize us through commodities. No? So again, one of the systems is the spread and development of the capitalist mode of production in certain economic sectors of the archipelago. Although yung capitalist practices that exist in the Philippines, hindi naman talaga siya fully shaped o hindi niya fully na-shape yung general mode of production sa Philippines as purely capitalist. Di ba may mga country na tinatawag natin na capitalist countries such as China? So hindi naman talaga tayo exactly tinatawag or nililabel na purely capitalist country. Now this distinction between the capitalist practices and, well again, hindi tayo capitalist country, pero we do practice capitalism. Anyways, yung distinction between these capitalist practices and yung overall mode of production will be later discussed dito sa mga pag-uusapan natin. Okay. So, para i-explain sa inyo, yung tinutukoy natin yung production ng popular culture commodities. Pag-uusapan natin dito yung capitalist mode of production as a framework given na it's colonial in nature. Dahil ang popular culture, particularly doon particularly that is being produced by the mass media in yung mass production of things, yung mga malalaking corporations that produces mass production ng mga kung anumang mga kinokonsume natin. So again, since yung popular culture is not indigenous, its general economic characteristic aligns with the mode of production that serves colonial interests. No? So yun yung tinutukoy natin na colonialism dito. Okay. Are we still on the same page? Am I still making sense?
Yes po, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. All right. So, kung mapapansin natin, di ba, sa ekonomiya natin mga Philippines, and I think na naririnig-rinig nyo din naman sa mga balita na marami tayong mga investors and we actually welcome investors to invest in the Philippines. So kung ano man yung pwede nilang pag-investan, pwedeng agrikultura, pwedeng kahit ano, actually, even yung mga minerals natin, open secret naman yun. Ino-open ng Pilipinas yung mga investors to mine in the Philippines o kung ano ba mang ginagawa nila sa mga minerals na meron tayo dito sa Pilipinas. So, yun ay yung tinutukoy natin that systems of power preserve social order that benefits colonizers and local elites. So, yung local elites, ito na yung mga sinasabi nating mga nagbebenta sa Pilipinas. I don't know if you get what I'm saying, pero yun yung mga siguro okay lang na sabihin ko, no? Parang sila Duterte, binibenta nila yung Pilipinas sa China. Okay, so yun. Yun yung isang example nung tinutukoy natin about the colonialism. Now, wait lang. Try ko. Ayan. So, meron ako ditong libro. It's called, di ko po ito ibebenta ha, papakita ko sa inyo. So, this is Karl Marx, Capital. And in this book, he mentions so many things about the systems of power, how the capitalism works, yada, yada, yada. It's basically how he criticized, no, yung society natin. No? And kung paano nag-feed, yung commodities, etc., etc. So, doon sa doon sa final part ng first volume, particularly this book, no, sa first volume ng Capital nitong libro na to, si Karl Marx, siya kasi nagsulat nito, reviewed that yung findings ng colonizers wait, I don't know how to put it into words. Okay, so he talked about the relationship between the colonization and yung modes of production. According to Marx, yung colonized societies having money, private livelihood, or yung ownership of tools and machineries or machinery does not automatically make one capitalist unless there exists a proletariat, or in layman's term, mga workers free to sell their labor power. So this shows that capital is not a thing, but a social relation. Kasi iniisip natin when we hear someone say kapitalista ka, ibig sabihin ang nasa isip ng mga tao is mayaman na merong business, but it's not actually that, no? Kapag again, nasasabi lang o sinasabi lamang natin, no, capitalist ang isang business, say for example, isang business, okay? Merong nag-exist na proletariat, no, na binibenta yung labor nila o yung ano tawag nila doon? Lakas paggawa. I don't know kung tama yung translation ko. Pero yun yung ginagamit natin. Lakas paggawa yata yun in Tagalog. Basically, yung kaya na natin magtrabaho, labor. So, kapag merong proletariat or workers, no, free to sell their labor power. Okay? So long as merong ganoong mga klase ng individual sa isang business, then yun yung tinutukoy natin o yun yung sinasabi natin na capital. Kaya hindi po, yung capital is not actually a thing, but a social relation. So, dahil sinasabi nating social relation siya, ibig sabihin, ito ay between people. No? May in-between people na nagkakaroon ng certain power relations. Okay? So, yung condition of colonization produces yung tinatawag nating systemic poverty and servitude. No? And it does not generate a class of free wage laborers, but rather people forced into dependence and dispossession, through land monopolization and centralized colonial power. Meaning to say na yung condition ng colonization, ang napoproduce talaga nito ay yung systemic poverty. So, if you're not familiar, di ba meron tayong tinatawag na status quo in our society. Ito yung klase ng society na meron tayong mga people in power, and meron tayong mga workers or laborers na nagtatrabaho. Middle class, ano pa ba? Elites, no, yan. May mga iba't ibang klase tayo ng pwedeng pa off ng mic. I cannot see. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Ayan. So, si Rabi pala yun. Anyways. So, saan na tayo? Wala ako. Okay. Ayan. Okay, so napoproduce nun is yung tinatawag natin na systemic poverty. Meaning to say, ito yung, I think na-mention ko din ito dun sa first meeting natin na the workers are grateful na meron silang trabaho. Not realizing how important labor work is in the system in any capitalist businesses. No? So, hindi ka makakapag-produce, let's just say, for example, sa mga, what do you call this? Sa mga pabrika. No? I did try working sa isang pabrika around our place when I was in college. A summer job yata yun. Just wanted to experience what it's like to be there. Kasi nung time na yun, ano pa ako, no? Tawag dito, aktivista pa ako nun. So I wanted to see how the system works within yung mga pabrika kasi I've heard there, may mga nag-uwelga dun sa pabrika na yun. So I did try, pero hindi mo na ako nagtagal. So mga 2 weeks lang ako doon. But I was able to see, even if I was just only given just a short period to work there, no? I saw kung gaano gaano kalala yung klase nung pamamahala and kung paano pinapasahod yung mga tao sa isang pabrika. No? May mga quota or per box yung bayad o kung ano-ano pa ba. And I think there was this content creator na taga-Bulacan din yun eh. Nung time niya, nung bata-bata pa yata siya, sabi niya, per bag, may certain money. Parang may bayad per sako. Per sako na bulak. No? Ilalagay nila sa sako yata yun. Or something like that. I forgot exact details. Tapos parang 200 plus yata per sako. 250 yata yun per sako yung ibabayad. Tapos yung pagdating niya doon, yung sako pala is yung sobrang laking sako. So, buong araw na daw siya nagtatrabaho noon. Pero, parang kalahati pa lang yata yung nailalagay niya na tulak doon sa sako. So, ito yung klase ng sistema na meron sa lipunan natin, sa mga pabrika. Even sa mga iba't ibang klase ng korporasyon. May mga ganoon din. Yung labor works, o yung labor or laborer, hindi masyadong napapansin o hindi masyadong nabibigyan ng importansya sa iba't ibang klase ng kumpanya. No? Not realizing how important the labor work is in the system. No? But then again, yun yung isa sa mga tinatawag natin, again, na systemic poverty. Na you are supposed to be grateful for the capitalist dahil binibigyan ka nila ng trabaho. I think you've heard people say na I'm very grateful para sa company ko kasi binigyan nila ako ng opportunity, binigyan nila ako ng trabaho, etc., etc. So again, yun ay parte ng tinatawag natin na systemic poverty. You are, the capitalist makes you feel that you owe them that. You owe them that. You owe them, so because you owe them, you have to pay them in return by your loyalty, by your dedication, and whatnot. Are we still on the same page?
Yes po, ma'am.
Okay, thank you for responding. Ayan. So, So ganito po nagwo-work yung capitalist society natin. Also, I had this experience before na meron akong kakilala, nag-work siya sa SM. Tapos sabi niya, natanggap daw siya, ano ba tawag dun yung hindi siya cashier eh. Ano yun, yung sales lady yata yun, something like that. Tapos, nung natanggap siya, so sobrang saya niya, sobrang thankful niya, ganyan-ganyan. And then, nagpe-prep siya para sa first day niya. Sabi niya, bumili daw siya ng uniform, bumili daw siya ng stockings, bumili daw siya ng shoes, bumili siya ng makeup, bumili siya ng pangtali ng buhok, at kung ano-ano pa mga pinagbibili niya. Lahat yun ay kakaltas daw sa sahod niya. So you are given an opportunity. This is how ironic the capitalist system is. So you're given an opportunity, hindi ka pa man nakakapasok, may utang ka na sa kanila, pero meron kang utang na loob sa kanila. Okay, do you see the irony in that kind of messed up system? So yun po, no? Again, yun yung tinatawag natin na systemic poverty. Kaya nga po yung iba na nagtatrabaho sa mga laylayan, sa mga yung mga sektor na nasa pinakababa, hindi sila nagkakaroon ng chance na kumita ng mas malaki unless sila ay magtatrabaho ng tatlong klase ng trabaho all at once, no? Wait lang, sabi ako. Okay. So, unless sila ay magkaroon ng tatlong trabaho all at once. No? Pero kung halimbawa buong buhay mo, ganun lang ginagawa mo, no? Sobrang liit lang ng chance na talagang umangat ka sa buhay. No? Napaka-small ng chance na, halimbawa ikaw ay thank you, Ong. It's okay. I'm not, I think I'm okay. Thank you, thank you. Okay. I wanted to continue our discussion. All right. So anyways, ganun ba ka-obvious? Pasensya na, no? I'm trying. Okay. Ayan. So, ito na ako. So that's the kind of irony that a lot of the Filipinos are experiencing. No? So we live in a colonized society. So over the Philippine history or over the Philippine history, yung social relations tied to labor evolved. Some remain feudal, particularly dun sa mga agricultural sectors such as yung sakada system, in sugar plantations. Meanwhile, dun sa mga semi-industrial labor in cities such as yung mga factory and man-based work, no, benefits from a semi-proletarian population of former land farmers working under certain conditions. No? And ito pong ganitong klase nung binabanggit ko, no, nire-reflect nito yung semi-feudal social relations in the contemporary labor system. Okay. Semi-feudal lang siya because even if merong wage-based labor exists, it is rooted dun sa complete capitalist worker relationship but remains tied to land ownership and dispossession. So such semi-feudal social relations makes it easier for colonial dominance to persist in the Philippines politics and economy. No? Syempre aided ito by the landowners na nagme-maintain ng foreign enterprises on their land. Kaya yung kahit na ang mga business owner ay Filipinos, pero dahil may mga foreign enterprises sila, nagbe-benefit pa rin yung mga colonizers sa atin. And nagko-continue pa rin yung feudal policies. No? Are we still on the same page?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. uh, Meanwhile, yung mga bureaucrat capitalists, o yung tinatawag natin na comprador bourgeoisie, pinafacilitate naman nila yung transactions between foreign capitalists and the Philippine state. No? At dito po nabubuo yung bureaucrat capitalism o yung capitalization ng bureaucracy itself. And dito sa ganitong klase ng relations, nag-emerge yung workplaces and industries. Nagpo-produce ng mga commodities such as yung goods or services, yung mga typical na work na ina-applyan ng karamihan ng mga Pilipino. No? Such as yung mga parts, machine parts, like yung mga semiconductor factories, or yung mga service components such as yung mga BPOs. No? Lahat ng mga nabanggit ko ay mga tinatawag natin na incomplete commodities, no? Finalized abroad for the benefit of colonial powers. So 'di ba, marami mga, siguro may ilan sa inyo, no, or may mga kakilala kayo na nagtatrabaho sa BPO. So obviously, you're not technically working for the Filipinos, but you are actually working for the colonizers, no? So, sa ganitong klase ng paraan, tinatawag natin yun na, sa nabanggit ko, no, ito yung tinatawag natin na bureaucrat capitalist kasi legal naman nating ibinibigay yung labor natin sa mga kapitalista na mula sa ibang bansa. So, may certain power relation that exists between the two. No? Now, yung mga foreign investments through the bureaucrat capitalism are sustained by keeping the country indebted to institutions like the World Bank o kung ano pa man. And sa ganitong klase ng sistema, yung direct colonialism is no longer necessary. Dati kasi kailangan siya, based na rin sa mga nabanggit natin. Ano? Kasi I'm not sure if I was able to discuss this in our previous discussion, ano? Kung paano na-colonize ng mga Espanyol yung mga Filipinos. Yung direct colonization, isa sa mga paraan yun. And yung pag-erase ng cultural history natin, which is one of the reasons why the Filipinos lost their identity. But we were able to find a way to understand who we really are as Filipinos. No? Anyways, doon sa ganitong klase ng sistema, doon sa bureaucrat capitalism, sa feudal social relations, etc., etc., no, hindi na necessary yung direct colonialism. It is enough for nations' policies to remain open to foreign capital, no, allowing continuous exploitation of labor by former colonizers for their benefit. And dito sa ganito, dun sa semi-colonial relationship that defines the condition of Filipino workers under the imperialist control. Although the Philippine social structure is semi-feudal and semi-colonial, it still adopts capitalist methods of wealth production. Yung key difference na nagbe-benefit dito in feudal, semi-feudal or semi-colonial setup, mga imperialists yung nag-gain dito. Mga imperialista, sila yung mas nag-gain dito. Pero hindi ibig sabihin na yung local ruling class ay walang nag-gain at all. No? Yeah, hindi ibig sabihin no, na dahil mas nagbe-benefit greatly mga imperialista, hindi na nagkakaroon ng gain yung local ruling class. No? Rather, it explains kung bakit ordinary Filipinos experience persistent hardship. No? Because, again, yung poverty is necessary for the survival of the major exploitative system. So we have the feudalism, the bureaucrat capitalism, and imperialism. So as you can see, no, systematic or systematic poverty talaga. No? So we are designed to be poor. Kasi kinakailangan yan nung sistema or capitalist system natin. Do you get what I'm saying? Kaya patuloy lamang tayong naghihirap dahil yung buong klase o buong sistema natin ay nakaugat mismo sa pangangailangan na maging mahirap tayo. Okay. Isa yon sa lente na sinasabi ni Marx, no? It can be rooted dun sa may capitalism, how the system works, etc., etc. Kaya marami kayong naririnig na mga tao na sabihin nila, bigyan ng karapatan ng mga laborers, etc., etc., itaas ang sahod, etc., etc. That's never going to work. No? Tataas man yan, pero mas tataas pa yung anong tawag doon? Yung lahat ng gastusin. No? Tataas yung presyo ng bilihin. So, tataas yung sahod just to maintain the lifestyle of being poor. Okay. So ito again, ang pagiging mahirap ay systematic. Hindi yan dahil kasi may mga greedy people, etc., etc. It's all part of the system. Yes, it's part na may mga greedy people talaga sa system, sa lipunan natin. But it's just a small portion doon sa pinaka-economic system o yung sa pinaka-sistema na meron tayo sa bansa natin. Do you get what I'm saying? Alright. So we are designed to be poor. We are designed to suffer. No? Kaya nga maraming mga nagsasabi din na maraming mga nagsasabi na hindi totoo or hindi talaga tayo magkakaroon ng justice sa sistema natin. So long as this kind of system exists and persists, nothing will ever happen. Every Filipinos are designed to be poor. If you are from a poor family, no? If you all started from that bottom, you are going to be poor. Baka sabihin nyo, ma'am, di ba may mga tao na nag-start from this and eventually they were able to make it out? Yes, but not everyone has that kind of opportunity. Hindi lahat ay nabibigyan ng ganoong klase ng pagkakataon. Kaya nga sobrang nai-inspire yung maraming mga Filipinos na tignan yung mga ganitong klase ng tao kasi sila din ay nanggaling sa kung nasaan sila ngayon. Nanggaling din sila sa hirap. And they were able to make their way out. Again, it's 1 in a million. 1 in a million. Tapos, 1 in a million na nga. Tapos pagkakakitaan pa nila yung mga mahirap, trying to inspire them na ganito yung ginawa ko, so ganito din yung gawin mo. But it's never also going to work. Pinagkakitaan mo lang yung mga mahihirap na tao. Ginamit mo na lang din silang tungtungan para mas umangat ka pa. What I mean by that is, kadalasan sa mga tao na nagiging successful, what do? They write books about how they got out from poverty. They vlog about how they did it so that a lot of people are going to watch their videos. Some of them are even training, no? Many other poor Filipinos, no? Asking them for a certain amount of money. Kung sino mas nagbe-benefit doon. It's not actually the poor, no? But it's them, no? Na nakaalis daw sa kahirapan. Do you get what I'm saying? Alright, thank you. So yesterday, I went outside, no? And habang nasa biyahe ako, nakita ko yung may naggagawa. Ano bang tawag yan? Basta may nagagawa sa isang building na inaayos nila, something like that. Nagkakabit sila ng mga anik-anik dun sa building na ginagawa nila. And I saw na yung lalaki na nagagawa dun, yung itsura niya yung typical na mga nagle-labor work. No? So, naka-short siya, tapos naka-t-shirt na may mga butas, whatnot. So, you can imagine that's what I saw. And then, napaisip ako, no? Nag-i-install siya ng ganito kagandang ilaw. And I'm wondering, pag uwi ba niya sa kanila, ganito din yung madadatnan niya. So the point is, we kind of live in a society na an architect designs a house and that architect doesn't even have a house of their own. No? That's how it's designed, no? If you are doing this, then definitely you cannot have this. Right? So that is how the colonized society works. So nakita po ba natin yung how the capitalism ay naaapektuhan halos karamihan ng ating sistema sa lipunan. Specifically, syempre doon sa kultura natin. Kung mapapansin din naman natin sa klase ng musika na pinakikinggan natin, sa mga arts na tinatangkilik natin, sa mga films na tinatangkilik natin, halos lahat yun ay merong colonized factor. Like, for example, you like listening to K-pop. You like watching films na American-based, Europe-based, o kung ano pa man. Yun ay pagko-colonize sa atin na agad. Hindi natin napapansin yun kasi we're having fun, right? It's fun to listen to this kind of music. It's fun to watch these kinds of sitcoms, films, o kung ano ba man pinapanood natin. Okay? So, yung pagkakagusto natin sa mga ganong bagay, yung namamagnetize sa mga ganitong klase ng bagay, it says a lot about how colonized we truly are. Okay. So that again is how the colonized society works. Now let's move on to the next slide. All right. So we have here understanding commodities and value. So we will try to answer the question why commodities exist, the types of value, form, use, value to exchange value, labor as a basis of value, where profit comes from, paid versus unpaid labor, the source of capitalist profit. I'll just turn off my camera if it's okay. All right, thank you. All right. All right. So, nagpo-produce tayo ng commodities dahil kinakailangan natin siya, no? Dahil according to Marx, again, yung commodity is anything that satisfies our desire, whether physical or spiritual, no? And whatever desire, meron siyang value. Okay? So, nagpo-produce tayo ng commodities dahil kailangan natin sila. And again, yung commodity is anything na nagsasatisfy doon sa desire natin. Okay? Di ba yun yung tinatawag natin ngayon na air quote, cravings. Yun ay isang commodity na din. No? So again, pwedeng physical or spiritual yung commodity or yung desire natin. Anything or kung ano man yung desire natin, meron siya laging value. Okay. Yung something na merong value sa iyo can be practical, bawa for use, ganyan, or sentimental, no? So, Yung practical, yung mga bagay na ginagamit natin, like even food o kung ano pa man. Or pwede rin naman ng mga sentimental, like halimbawa, you will be buying a necklace na may naka-engrave na pangalan ng importanteng tao sa'yo um, o kaya naman mga lockets na may picture ng mga loved ones natin, yan. Pwedeng sentimental, no? O kaya naman, pwede din na you buy this cross because you wanted to, ano ba, you wanted to use this cross as a source of calm and peace every time you feel this or that. No? So, again, merong value sa'yo or anything na merong value sa'yo, meron siyang, pwede siyang sentimental or practical. No? And ito yung tinatawag natin, o ito yung aspect of value na tinatawag natin use value. Okay? Every commodity has use value based on its inherent characteristics. For example, no, yung food has use value for eating and providing nutrition. Yung clothing naman has use value for protection, pwede ding appearance or self-expression. Doon sa konteksto ng popular culture, yung mga product tulad ng films, meron din siyang use value as entertainment. Okay? So again, we use the term use value. No? Dahil yung commodity, meron siyang use value para sa atin, meron din siyang potential use value for others. No? And this shared recognition of usefulness becomes the foundation of trade. No? In ancient times, people exchange goods of mutual benefit. No? Yung tinatawag natin na barter. No? So bartering one useful thing for another. At this stage, no, yung value of goods was compared based on quality. Okay? For example, no, a loaf of bread should be exchanged for something equally useful. And ito yung comparative usefulness itong comparative usefulness is called the exchange value. Okay, do you get what I'm saying? Are we still on the same page? All right, thank you. Okay. So again, meron tayong use value and meron din tayong exchange value. Yung use value natin can become an exchange value. So tinitignan natin yung usefulness nung gusto natin o yung quality rather, no? Yung quality ng goods natin dun sa isa pang goods. Alright? However, since yung personal comparison could be unfair, yung trade nag-evolve siya dun sa tinatawag natin na quantitative system. Okay, so ngayon, we measure commodities by count, by weight, or by their time. Okay? For instance, again, one whole loaf of bread, no, cannot be fairly exchanged for half a loaf of the same kind. So ganitong klase, the quantitative exchange value of a commodity must correspond to its equivalent measure. Okay? So, yeah, no? So ganun po nag-work na yun yung tinatawag natin na exchange value. We can think of ano bang pwede natin gamitin example? Halimbawa, nagbibenta ka ng used na original Louis Vuitton na bag. So, halimbawa, yung price nung Louis Vuitton na bag mo, dahil ito ay goods na goods pa, good quality pa, whatever, no? Ang pricing mo is around 110,000 pesos. No? So now, the buyer has to see the quality. So, tinatawag natin na i-check yung quality and check yung yung ano bang tawag dun, may number yung each bags, no? So, isi-check nila yung kung legit pa yung bag, what not, no? And doon nila malalaman kung yung hinihingi mong value, monetary value ng bag na yun, ay fair for the quality of bag you are selling. Do you get what I'm saying? Are we still on the same page? All right, thank you. Okay. Even sa mga small na conversations, minsan ginagawa din natin to, yung exchange value, di ba? Nag-share ka ng juicy na chismis sa kaibigan mo kapag sila ay nag-share din ng juicy na chismis sa'yo. No? So, gumagana din yung ganong klase ng exchange value, yung quantitative exchange value. Kaya minsan, di ba, I don't know if you already experienced that kind of situation where nag-share ka ng something really important, something na meron siyang weight, no? Sabihin na lang natin na may emotional weight siya. Tapos sabi nung isa mong kaibigan na importante din yung sasabihin niya. Then, ang sasabihin ng pala niya, I just got my braces. Yun lang pala yung sasabihin niya, no? So parang there's no fairness between the two chika doon, ano? So tinitignan din natin yung value ng binibigay natin. Okay? So dun sa quantitative value is generally derived from the labor time spent, no, producing the commodity. No, ito yung it refers to the socially necessary labor time, not the specific hours spent on an individual item. For example, again, no, yung bread that takes longer to bake does not automatically have higher value if it's the same kind of bread. Okay? Industrialization relies on the standardization of labor, measuring production by average labor time. Okay? So again, yung quantitative value is generally derived from the labor time spent producing the commodity. Hindi siya kung gaano mo katagal ginawa. Okay? Kaya nga 'di ba, siguro napapansin niyo din 'to, no, na na ginagamit din kasing form of advertisement ng iba yung handmade, tapos sinasabi pa nila kung gaano katagal nila ginawa, etc., etc. Pero hindi po talaga yun yung basis ng kung bakit tumataas yung value ng isang bagay. Diba? Ang binahabol natin dito, yung lalo na dun sa industrialization, is yung standardization ng labor. No? Measuring production by average labor time. Kasi kung halimbawa sabihin natin na 100 hours ko ginawa yung isang piece na to, then ibig sabihin, halimbawa per hour ko is around 1,000 pesos, then you have to pay me 100,000 pesos because I spent 100 hours doing this. Kaya tayo merong standardization of labor. So each person has to work certain hours only, no, in order for them to fit doon sa tinutukoy natin na standardization. Do you get what I'm saying? All right, thank you. Okay, so ganun siya, no? Ngayon, so wala pa tayo, nandun pa lang tayo sa labor, right? Now let's talk about the materials, no? Yung materials are also commodities with their own exchange value na nagre-represent din yung labor time. And dito po papasok yung, this is where money enters, no? So tinitignan natin yung bridge, we are bridging the distance between two use values. So yung money mediates between the commodity and its user. For example, no, flour and sugar is used to make bread. No? This flour and sugar are traded not for personal enjoyment, but as inputs for production. Their price represents the total labor time spent planting, harvesting, refining, packaging, and transport. Okay? Thus, the price of commodity is based on this total socially necessary labor time required to produce it. Okay? Tulad yan ng sabi ko, hindi pwedeng base lang yung kung kapag tinanong natin bakit sobrang mahal ng isang bagay na to, hindi lang siya sa labor. Kasama din doon, obviously, yung materials na gagamitin mo doon sa isang bagay na yun. Right? So, nako-compute natin kung paano natin pepresyohan yung isang bagay base again doon sa kung paano siya ginawa, yung mga materials na ginamit natin, at kung ilang oras ginawa yung isang bagay na yun. Alright? So again, yung price of a commodity is based on the total socially necessary labor time required to produce it. Okay. So ngayon, saan natin makukuha yung profit, no? Okay. Yung profit doesn't appear out of thin air, obviously, no? It comes from the labor itself. Workers sell their labor power as a commodity to the capitalists. Again, hindi natin pinagbabasihan lang yung labor ng isang tao para magkaroon ng certain price yung binibenta natin. Okay? Hindi lang siya ganon. However, you also have to include kung magkano yung nagastos natin sa materials, etc., etc. But basically, sa bigger picture, in a general picture, makukuha natin yung profit from the labor itself. No? So paano? No? Yung workers, binibenta nila yung labor power as a commodity to the capitalists. And labor power is produced and maintained through a person's basic needs like food, shelter, rest, leisure, and overall being. Yung value of labor power is equivalent to the cost of these necessities represented by wages. Okay? So labor power, hindi naman talaga siya well-paid kind of work, no? So kaya nga 'di ba sabi ko sa inyo yung binigay kong sabi kong experience ko before when I worked at a factory, no? Per box, per quota or something like that. Yun yung binabayaran nung company, no? So yun tatawag natin na labor power. And merong katapat na wages yung binibigay mong labor power. Okay? At dito, sa labor power, tayo, karamihan na sa atin, ano, sa labor power tayo, anong tawag dun sa term na yun? Dinadamutan? Anong tawag dun? Basta yung parang gano'n. Hindi tayo binabayaran ng tama. No? So, for instance, no, if a baker earns 500 peso a day, but produces 500 peso worth of bread in only 3 hours, the rest of the day's labor, 5 to 9 more hours, creates additional value not paid to them. And yung unpaid portion rather is called unpaid labor. Okay, do you get what I'm saying? Okay. So, di ba minsan yung sa mga restaurants, may mga nagtatrabahong waiter, ganyan. Per hour yung bayad sa kanila. Diba? Sabihin na natin na per hour nila, I think 100, hindi mo 100, parang 80 pesos, something like that, per hour. No? Say, 80 pesos per hour sila. So, you imagine kung magkano lang yung kinikita nila sa isang araw. So, 80 times 8 kasi 8 hours lang. Minsan 9 kasi hindi nila sinasama yung break time dun sa paid na oras nila. So, say less than 800 pesos. I don't know, no? Kasi parang mga ganun, 600 or something like that per day nila. Okay. So, sa isang table, let's say, ang ginastos ng isang table is around 1,000 pesos. Tapos yung kinita mo for that day, kinita mo for that day, ay kulang pa pambayad dun sa isang table na gumastos ng ganitong certain halaga. So, meron tayong mga unpaid labor na ginagawa, karamihan. So, siguro isang best example ko dito sa PUP. No? May daming labor namin dito. So we are only paid based doon sa mga tinuturuan namin. Katulad sa klase nyo, I'm being paid to teach you. I'm paid, basically I'm just paid to teach you, to conduct my classes. That's it. But because we have to still grade your papers, we still have to spend hours studying what we're going to teach. We have to spend hours taking further studies. We have to spend hours making sure that we are following the standards of the CHED. We have to spend hours maintaining the requirements of the university in order for the class to pursue. No? All these things are all unpaid. Iba nung mga nakaraan, ang dami kong mga absences sa inyo because we needed to do this, we need to do that, I have to attend this, I have to attend that. All of those things are unpaid. Okay? So we are so overworked, but so underpaid. Okay? Do you get what I'm saying? That's what we call the unpaid labor. Kaya maraming mga professors ninyo ang pagod na sa buhay. Pagod na sa mga ginagawa nila sa buhay dahil lahat ng oras nila ay napupunta na lang sa pagtatrabaho na kadalasan ay hindi naman talaga din nababayaran. So even if for example, I do a makeup class, I'm not getting paid for that. I'm not going to be paid because I arranged a makeup class. No. That's also a free labor for me. Okay. Are we still on the same page?
Yes po, ma'am.
All right, thank you. Okay. So that is the commodities and value. Okay. So mapapansin natin din siguro kung nagre-reflect kayo, no? Na ang daming mga injustices that happens in ours. All right, I remember the term, binabarat. Okay. So anyways, ayan. So mapapansin natin sa lipunan natin, napakadaming mga hindi makatarungang klase ng pamamahala at sistema ang meron sa atin. No? Again, if you try to get out of your comfort zone, see the reality outside your bubble, makikita mo how ugly everything really is. No? Kaya nga sinasabi natin na if you were able to see things beautifully despite seeing the reality, no? Parang it's a leisure. No? It's a leisure. And at the same time, hypocrite. Kasi when you see the reality outside wherever you are, kung halimbawa nakatira ka sa subdivision, you never get to see yung mga squatters area, you never get to see how poor the Filipinos are, etc. No? You are so privileged. No? I just wanted to share this as well. Nung college kami, meron kaming kaklase na kinakainisan namin. Sobrang buwisit na buwisit kami sa kanya. Dahil, sabi niya noon one time, hindi pa daw siya nakakita ng squatters area. Yung Teresa mismo, sa PUP kami Teresa mismo ay squatters area. Tapos sasabihin niya na hindi pa daw siya nakakita ng squatters area. And she pretends like she's so rich. So we're so annoyed kasi mga philo majors kami and mulat kami sa mga ganong klase ng mga sistema. Tapos sasabihin niya na hindi siya nakakita ng squatters area at hindi niya alam kung ano yung pakiramdam na maging mahirap. So, siyempre, dahil kaming lahat na nag-aaral noon, ay mahihirap talaga kami. Parang there's certain anger that we feel na, oh my God, how hypocrite are you studying in a state university na karamihan ng mga klase mo ay mahihirap tapos mag-aasta ka na ganito, ganyan. And you would be making us feel na we are so poor and that you're better than us. So merong ganong klase ng trigger. Do you get what I'm saying? that's the that's just the other side of that's just the other side of it. Okay, so meron tayong ganitong klase ng ng sistema sa lipunan natin na madalas hindi natin nakikita dahil sobrang comforted tayo nung safety bubble na meron tayo. Again, it's a leisure to not be able to see those kinds of things. No? Kaya nga minsan ang nakakainis sa mga government officials is how can they talk about poverty when they themselves haven't experienced it and haven't even, saw the reality of how poverty looks like now. No? You talk about all this shit when you yourself haven't even immersed yourself in that kind of shit. No? Kaya nga din, di ba maraming mga Filipinos ang hinahalal na lang yung mga alam nilang nanggaling sa hirap. Kaya nga nanalo si Pacquiao dati. Kaya nanalo si Pacquiao dati kasi alam ng lahat yung hirap na dinanas niya. Alam ni Pacquiao what it's like to be poor. And I would say, yeah, totoo naman. Pero hindi lang about sa pagiging hindi lang about sa pagiging relatable yung pagiging parte ng gobyerno, but also knowing how to make it change. Yan yung system, no? Anyways, so this is commodities and value. All right, everything has a value, no? Depends on whether or not it's a use value or exchange value. Okay? So exchange value, kapag meron ng exchange yun, pwede mo na siyang ipalit sa isang bagay, pwedeng monetary, pwedeng literal na sa ibang bagay din, etc. Use value is how you are consuming these materials, these commodities. Okay? So again, nabubuo ang commodities kasi ito ay mga pangangailangan natin. At also, dinidesire natin. Not only yung pangangailangan natin. Kaya siya nagiging commodity kasi dinidesire na natin siya. So for example, it's a necessity for us to eat food. No? Pero instead of just eating food that could, be for the sake of sustenance, no? You buy food that satisfies your cravings. So nagiging commodity yung pangangailangan. Okay? Do you get what I'm saying? We're still on the same page. Right. All right, thank you. So, yan. All right, now let's move on to the next slide. Capital and pop culture. Popular culture follows a capitalist system focused on profit. All right. On a global scale, yung nature of the production of pop culture, commodities can be viewed as capitalists. Again, if we define capitalism as yung circulation of capital as a social relation aimed at accumulating profit through the optimization of labor power. Sa Pilipinas, yung production of commodities in pop culture is similarly driven by this goal, no? But unlike doon sa capitalist society, semi-feudal and semi-colonial character ng Philippine society ensures the extreme exploitation of labor through miserable wages, not only for the benefit of the local ruling class, but also doon sa mga imperialists who profit from it. Meaning to say na yung pop culture ay tinitignan natin as very capitalistic. No? Capitalistic siya. Kung ang goal niya is to accumulate profit sa pag-optimize ng labor power. Okay, so kung naalala natin mga pinagsasabi ko kanina, no? But unlike again, no? Unlike doon sa sistema na meron tayo, like yung semi-feudal and semi-colonial character ng Philippine society, na nagkakaroon ng profit by making their laborers have miserable wages, no? Yung pop culture, iba yung kanyang pamamaraan. Still, meron pa ding labor power involved. But unlike, again, those things that I mentioned, hindi na sobrang exploited. May exploitation pa din, but it's not to the extreme power. To the extreme extent. No? Now, overall, yung production of pop culture commodities, like yung mass media companies, are private enterprises. Si Rolando Tolentino, inelaborate niya dito na yung media presents itself as egalitarian with a mission and service as its supposed main purpose. It claims to deliver news and programs that are impartial and objective. However, the media lacks self-reflexivity and it shows no genuine interest in examining itself because like any businesses, its real objective is profit. Okay. Although syempre yung mga media companies, it follows certain ethical standards, specifically or especially sa mga news reporting, yung corporate nature ng mga ganitong klase ng businesses reveals their true end goal. According kay Tolentino, yung ideological function of this egalitarian posture is to sustain our consumerist relation or consumerist relations. For consumerism to work, the businesses or the business of mass media must not appear as business. It must appear as art, advocacy, or something noble. No? Its product must not look like mere entertainment. Instead, they must be viewed as artistic works or even political advocacies that claim to raise awareness. Thus, yung business of popular culture is a business that hides its nature as a business. Okay? Even yung mga media company na kinokonsume natin, like ABS-CBN, GMA, network, etc., they try to always, provide us something artistic, so that the people wouldn't think that this is a business. You get what I'm saying? It hides its true nature. So we buy all these tickets. We watch this. We watch all this. Ano bang tawag nila doon? Mga palabas, no? Ano ba yun? Yung mga drama, something. We watch all those things, no? Na hindi natin iniisip na by watching it, they're actually earning something. Okay? So, hindi natin yun masyadong napapansin. Kasi again, it's only dressed as a form of entertainment. And because it's a form of entertainment, it's not something serious. Okay? Kaya din mapapansin nyo, di ba, sa mga media companies like ABS-CBN or GMA Network, meron silang mga ano tawag doon? Charitable works. Right? Napapansin ba natin yun? May mga charity silang ginagawa. Are you aware of that? Alright. So that's one, no? Yun yung isa sa mga pamamaraan nila para maitago yung nature, yung business nature nila. Regardless kung sila ay nagtatry na itago yun, business pa rin naman talaga sila. Okay? Alright. Yun yung tinatawag ni Tolentino na overdetermination. Okay. So, yung ito yung overdetermination, yung defining feature ng popular culture. Tayong mga consumers are overdetermined by the media apparatus, no? Together with their ideological and repressive institutions, no? Shaped in our very sense of self. Okay? Through the everyday seduction of media, such as mulling or watching movie, yung middle class consumerist and postmodern identity is constantly reaffirmed. It feels as though we are exercising our right to information and choice, but in reality, all these consumerist practices and even our liberal democracy ultimately serve the profit-driven interests of media corporations. I don't know if you know this, pero yung tinatawag natin na rainbow capitalism, are you aware of that? Di ba nagkaroon ng um, LGBTQIA plus parade? March, rather. Are you familiar with that? Alright. So, di ba meron tayong ginaganap na ganoon? Right? But instead of the rights being, being fought, no? Ang nangyari is, binentahan yung mga tao ng kung ano-ano. No? Thinking that, hey, because we wanted to raise awareness, so we are going to be selling all this, products to those people, part of the community, etc., etc. Now, when we are talking about the mass media or the media outlets, palagi tayong binibigyan ng certain validation na, hey, it's okay to be this, it's okay to be that, blah, blah, blah. Watch this movie so you can relate to this, etc., etc. Listen to this music because you can relate to this, blah, blah, blah. No? So, nagkakaroon tayo ng parang sense of self doon sa klase ng validation that the media gives us. No? But again, the truth is, pinagkakakitaan lang naman talaga tayo nila. Wala naman talaga silang pakialam sa atin. No? Iniisip natin na when we are watching this news, meron tayong right to information and meron tayong choice. No? But again, ang reality is that these are just consumerist practices. Okay? Ultimately, no, nagpo-profit sila doon sa ganitong klase ng ginagawa nating practices. Dahil again, at the end of the day, no matter what they say, they are still profit-driven corporations. Okay? Now, consumerism has become a core part of the contemporary social order. Surviving individuals with endless commodities na nagde-define and nagmumold ng identities. And this is accompanied by the ideology, by the ideologies of individualism and liberalism, na nagpo-promote ng illusion that we freely determine our own destinies. Okay? Just as mass media hides its business nature, popular culture also conceals the ideologies and practices of consumerism and liberalism that keep people buying and consuming. Parang I'm dropping a bomb right here, no? Na, oh my God, everything that I am consuming, inuutulang pala ako, so I will be consuming all their products. I'll be watching all their films. I'll be watching all these things. I'll be listening to this shit. Blah, blah, blah. No? But the reality of it is pinagkakakitaan lang naman talaga tayo. Okay. Do you get now why do you get now why I said that I do not like pop music? Do you get now why I do not like popular art? This is because of this, no? Because almost everything that has popular label, no, all of it is, profit driven. Especially the popular art that we have now. 'Di ba? Parang they always has to please people. Especially when we talk about the art itself, no? 'Di ba you hear people say, um, ayoko ng ganitong klase ng art kasi parang hindi siya magugustuhan ng mga tao. Or some artists, the contemporary artists are having a hard time promoting their art kasi hindi ito popular art. Hindi ito yung klase ng art that the mass people would like. So merong people-pleasing quality na yung mga artists that I have to produce this kind of art kasi ganito yung gusto ng mga tao. Now, because of that very thing, because the artist wanted to be popular, because the artist wanted to be in, no? Nawawala na yung original reason why we even created art in the first place. Okay? Lalo na sa usapin ng music. I was listening to December Avenue podcast with the Cool Pals. Are you familiar with that podcast, yung Cool Pals? Yeah. So I was listening to them. And tinanong ng Cool Pals, isa sa mga Cool Pals na kasi 'di ba yung December Avenue, they're already popular. So essentially, they're part of the pop culture already. No? And tinanong ng isa sa mga Cool Pals, ano yung music na parang I forgot the exact question, but what I understood from that is, ano yung mga music na ganito, ganyan, no? Ano yung music na parang hihinayang kayo na hindi sugat? Parang ganun yung tanong. No? And then they mentioned a lot of things, blah, blah. Kasi yung unang mga kanta na nirelease nila, all of those things are in English. So, and also there are so many music or mga music na na-produce nila na hindi na-appreciate, hindi na-appreciate ng masa, no? So parang nangihinayang sila and sabi nila, sayang, sayang. But if you are an artist and you're aiming for that, are you really an artist? No? Kasi kung profit-driven ka, then ibig sabihin you're not essentially an artist. Because yung artists, they are dedicating their lives creating their crafts. But you are dedicating your crafts to earn something from it. Do you get what I'm saying? If that's the case, no? If that's the case, are we really creating all these things for the sake of creating it? Or are we creating all this shit for the sake of profit? That's the question, diba? You even hear lots and lots of artists saying, I'm not going to do this because I'm not paid to do this. No? And we understand that you wanted to protect your label, etc., etc. But if it's art that you are creating, there shouldn't be that kind of determination. All right. So this is where the problem of popular culture begins. Okay? So nagiging problematic siya kasi you are supposed to be creating art. You're supposed to be creating art for the sake of art, regardless kung may viewer ka, regardless kung may taong nakakakita sa ginawa mo. The point is, you are creating it. That is why in the Philippines, a lot of Filipinos has no idea what art should really be looking like. It's not supposed to please you. That's the reality of art, no? Which a lot of Filipino does not understand. Tapos sabihin nila ang pangit ng ginawa mo. No? Sabihin nila, ay, ang pangit ng art na to. Eh, art yan. Ganyan lang yung art. Pwede pala ako maging artist, blah, blah. That only shows stupidity. No? That only shows stupidity that you have no idea what art is supposed to look like. What art really is. What is the nature of art? Pero there you are saying that this art is ugly. Just shows that you are stupid. You don't even know what art is. No? And yet, a lot of people are saying and screaming and even commenting on posts ridiculing those kinds of art. Again, pinapakita lang natin kung gaano tayo katanga at ignorante sa usapin ng art. Okay. Popular culture is follows a capitalist system focused on profit. And a lot of pop artists only aims for be popular. This again becomes really problematic, no? Not only for the identity of the culture and also the popular art, but also in the system that we have. Okay. So, di ba pinopromote lahat ng mga artists sa atin na we are free, we have freedom, we have this and that. But the truth is, they already predetermined what we will like and what we will not like because of the system that we have in our society. That is why change in the system is so hard to do. Ironically, change is constant. But in the discussion of our system, parang napaka-imposible. That is because it's already hardwired in our minds. Parang ano lang yan, ano? Nasa utak na natin na maging mahirap tayo. And so forever na lang tayo maging mahirap. It's kind of like that. No? So, mapapansin natin sa mga Filipinos na buong buhay nila naging mahirap sila, lahat ng pamilya nila nanggaling sa hirap, nasadlak sa kahirapan, lahat sila nandoon sa pinakaibaba. Kapag nabigyan sila ng pagkakataon, they are self-sabotaging. Do you get what I'm saying? Alright. What is your opinion sa statement, Vivian, that pop culture is actually contradicting because culture shouldn't be popular? Parang hindi ko alam tong kay Vivian Westwood na to. Pero yeah, interesting, no? Exactly. Totoo naman eh. Popular culture is contradicting kasi yung culture shouldn't be aiming for anything for it to be popular. We're not supposed to be popularizing culture. A culture is practices, our practices. Diba? Why are we trying to popularize it? Okay, it's okay to like music, pero you know, why would we popularize it, no? That's the question. Bakit nga ba kailangan natin i-popularize yung mga bagay-bagay? Totoo, I believe that, no? I believe that that pop culture is contradicting kasi again, culture shouldn't be popular. So the name itself is problematic. The name itself is problematic. Vivian Westwood is a famous designer. Oh, okay. I'll try to look into her account. Thank you for that, Lasala. Ayan. So, hindi naman pala ako nag-iisa dito na thinking that. No? Not only, syempre, supported ng history naman yung sinasabi ko. No? Pero also, it's nice to know. Si Vivian Westwood ba ay contemporary? Siya ay nabubuhay pa ngayon? Yes, may nag-raise ng hand. Buhay pa siya, no? Ayan. So, it's nice to know na added na, kailan siya nawala? I'll try to search nga sino ba si Vivian Westwood. Okay. Thank you for that, Lasala. I'll try to read some of her accounts. Oh, okay. Sige. Thank you for that. So, modern, contemporary na rin siya. Contemporary. It's nice to know na may mga contemporary designers who think this way. Alam nyo, just to let you know, since you are going to consume one way or another, malalaman ninyo that what you're trying to consume, especially dun sa media, mass media that you are trying to consume, na itong tao na to knows what he or she is doing kapag siya ay may mas malalim na opinion tungkol sa ginagawa niya o tungkol sa sa lipunan. No? Hindi lang yung sasabihin nila na kailangan nating lumaban, blah, blah, blah. Well, that is obvious. No? Pero like, if they have, mapapansin mo naman yun kapag malalim yung opinion nila, o malalim yung opinion nila sa mga bagay-bagay. Alam mo na itong tao na to knows what he or she is doing. Hindi lang halimbawa sa mga artists, mga artista, mga pinapanood ninyo. No? Kapag ang tao na to ay malalim mag-isip, pinapahalagahan niya yung craft na ginagawa niya. No? Hindi lang dahil kumikita siya dito, hindi lang dahil blah, 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 but rather because he or she sees the importance of it in our society. So malalaman mo naman yun. Magiging obvious naman yun. Kapag parang lata lang yung utak ng isang artista, malalaman mo din naman yun. And some of them are not even trying to hide it. Some of them are deliberately presenting themselves as stupid. And they're proud of it. So, pili na lang kayo ng i-consume niyo sa media na pinapanood natin. Alright. So, do you have questions, clarifications, negative reactions, or anything that you wanted to share to the class? Wala po. Alright, thank you. So ito, no, minention ko na rin naman dito sa may PowerPoint ko na actors become commodities, kung naalala natin what we mean by commodities, because people desires them to be there, no, showing capitalism influence in media. So, kaya din ginagamit yung mga artista na, sa mga marketing or sa mga advertisements, no. So, a lot of people are desiring them because they're so beautiful. They have a perfect ratio. They have a proportional face. They have a, pointed nose, striking eyes, and beautiful face. So they are using them to influence people into buying all these products. So ginagamit din sila, nagiging commodities din ang mga actors. Nagiging commodities yung mga actors because they are, being desired. No? So anyways, that's the culture, capital, and pop culture. So even a person can be a commodity. All right. Next slide. Malapit na tayo matapos, guys. Konti na lang. Okay. Ayun, tapos na pala tayo. Let me just give you guys the rundown of our discussion today. So, kung mapapansin natin sa mga pinag-usapan natin kanina, no, na nagkakaroon tayo nung tinatawag natin na fetishized commodities rather. Fetishized commodities. Yung example ng fetishized commodities ay mga actors, mga artista yung nabanggit ko kanina. At dahil meron tayong ganito, it goes to show na literally anything can be capitalized. Okay? Literally anything can be capitalized. Your face can be capitalized. Your body can be capitalized. At literal na kahit ano pwede mong pagkakitaan. Yung tinatawag natin na supply and demand, no? Yung demand is just it's just a beautiful word for commodification. It's just a word for the fetishized commodities. The truth, according to in the lens of Marx, the truth is these are all fucked up, right? Non-verbatim. These are all fucked up kind of system that we have in a society. But the thing about this, and the most problematic of all the things that we talked about, is This has been ingrained in our heads. This has been, you know, this has been something that we are doing without even thinking anymore. No? Kaya siya nagiging problematic kasi we cannot imagine our lives anymore without capitalism. And again, we are so grateful for the capitalists kasi binibigay nila yung mga commodities natin, yung dinidesire natin. Without further thinking, how important this really is. Iniisip lang natin na I have to be, I like watching it because it makes me feel this, it makes me feel that. But, totoo nga ba yun, totoo nga bang yan yung nararamdaman mo every time you watch those kinds of films, every time you listen to those kinds of music? Or is that kind of film and music determining what you should and should not do? Do we really have freedom within the system of capitalism? Ayun. Do you get what I'm saying? All these things may sound like, mas madali na lang maging stupid, no? Kasi nga, or maging ignorante. Kasi ignorance is a bliss. Without these kinds of things that we talked about, my life would just, be me consuming all this media, would just be enjoying my meal from a certain fast food restaurant, drinking my capitalized coffee, drinking all these things, buying all these products, blah, blah, blah. Even sa pag-makeup nga ng mga tao, no? All these things, no? These are just, commodities. We have problems, especially why we think that we are so ugly. It's all based dun sa capitalist system that we have. Our society have desired to have a pointed nose because it has been commodified. It has been presented in films, presented in marketing, presented in this and that, blah blah, whatever you're seeing those kinds of people who has pointed nose and we desire to be like them because they are presented as beautiful. It's commodified. No? Even yung nararamdaman nating insecurity sa sarili natin, yun ay nag-uugat mula doon sa commodification nung mga facial features na dapat, air quote, dapat nating makuha o dapat maging tayo in order for us to be confident. Do you get what I'm saying? Do you get how affected we are with this kind of system? Okay. Just wanted to say this before we end our discussion na there is nothing wrong kung pangu yung ilong natin. There's nothing wrong kung maitim yung balat natin. There's nothing wrong kung may mga dumi or may mga peklat tayo sa katawan. There's nothing wrong kung may pimples tayo. Society, yung commodified society lang natin, yung nagsasabi sa atin na kailangan maging ganito tayo. But there is nothing wrong with our nature. Okay? There's nothing to be insecure about. No? Think about it. No? Pag-isipan natin mabuti. Kung natural nga bang kailangan kong maging maganda na ganitong klase ng kagandahan yung ma-attain ko. Okay? We lived in a society where the society dictates us what to feel and what to think. But do not let the society make you feel all those negative emotions because there is nothing wrong with us. There's nothing wrong with the way you look, with the way you present yourself. The important thing is you are living and you are kind and you are enjoying your life. Okay? Yun lang yung importante sa buhay. Hindi para gayahin yung mga nakikita natin sa TV. Because once you entered that void, there's no going back. Okay? You're just, making yourself more and more insecure. So kapag nagpagawa ka ng ilong, dahil tingin mo, it will make you, beautiful, madadagdagan pa yung desire mo na yun. Now you want this. Now you want tattooed eyebrows. Now you want to have this snatched body. And it's never going to change. The thing about it is you keep on fantasizing about those kinds of things in order for you to fit into the mold that the society wants you to be. But the society has nothing to do with you. Kaya dapat lumaban lang tayo, laban lang natin na talaga namang maganda naman talaga na tayo. Okay? Ang importante may alam tayo, no? Importante may laman utak natin. Anihin mo naman yung napakaganda mong mukha kung bungol ka naman. Kung wala namang laman yung utak mo. Okay? So, let us, practice, each one of us, no? Let us practice na i-empower natin yung bawat isa. No? I-empower natin yung bawat isa. And keep that in mind all the time. Every time you feel insecure because you keep watching this, you keep watching that. You keep seeing these things on media, blah, blah. No. Do not go gentle into that good night. Rage against the dying of the light. Always keep that in mind. All right, so that will be the end of our meeting for today. Yung activity pala. This will be your activity for next meeting. I'll be posting this after na ng mga klase ko today. I'll be posting this activity kasi isusulat ko yung rubrics ko for this activity. No? So, provide a reflection on the relationship between capital and popular culture. Ang minimum would be 500 words. So, alam na naman po na huwag tayong gagamit. Ayoko po nang merong AI output na isasubmit. No? Ayoko rin po nang ipi-plagiarize natin yung mga gawa natin. I want this to be personal. I want this to be you. So, make sure na makaririnig po kayo mismo yung nagsusulat doon sa papel na binabasa ko. If that will make you feel more like yourself, then I will allow Tagalog. Pero make sure po na kung Tagalog, purely Tagalog po tayo. Okay? Kung English, English tayo. Pili lang tayo ng isa. Alright, so I hope kahit po sabaw-sabaw ako ngayong umaga na to, ay may natutunan pa rin naman po tayong kahit papaano. No? So I'll see you again next week. Yeah, next week lang. Ay, wala pala tayong pasok next week kasi undas na, no? Tama ba ako? So I'll see you next week. Stay safe, everyone, and stay hydrated. Bye!
Thank you.
Thank you po, ma'am.
Thank you so much po.
Thank you po.
God bless